Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I'll be trying to solve a 3 by 3 into various different patterns. So in this video, I'll be solving a regular 3 by 3 into a total of 4 different patterns. One is the checkerboard pattern, one is the superflip pattern, the cube in a cube in a cube pattern, and finally, the luckiest 3 by 3 scramble. So firstly, I'm going to be trying to recreate the checkerboard pattern on this 3 by 3. I have my Rubik's 3 by 3 here for reference with the checkerboard pattern on it, and I have my GAN 3 by 3 on which I'll be solving the cube into a checkerboard pattern. So how this will work is I will be scrambling my GAN 3 by 3 just like this. It is a fully scrambled 3 by 3 right now. And now I'll be solving this not into a solved state but into the checkerboard pattern. So here we go. So the first step on a 3 by 3 is to solve the cross, and on a checkerboard pattern we can see that the cross has 4 yellow edge pieces rather than 4 white edge pieces, and also next to every center we have the opposite color edge piece. And so that is how I'll be making the cross first. So we have straight away the yellow and blue edge piece over here, which has to go here at the white and green edge piece slot. So there we have the cross done, which is 4 yellow edge pieces instead of white, and also the opposite color edge pieces on every side. And so moving on to the corners, we can clearly see that every single corner on this Rubik's Cube is in the correct solved state. So nothing changes in the corners, so we can solve the corners as regular. And so the corners are done. We have 4 white corners in the white face, and on all the 4 sides we have the correct corners. So that's done. And now for the edge pieces in the middle layer, we can see that for example, in the red and green edge piece slot, we have the blue and orange edge piece, which means opposite to green is blue, opposite to red is orange, and that's the edge piece that comes in the red and green edge piece slot. And so that's how we'll be going about it. We have the orange and green edge piece slot. What's opposite to orange is red. So now we have all the edge pieces in the middle layer inserted in the correct pattern of the checkerboard, and we are moving on to the final layer, which is the yellow face. And for the yellow face, when it comes to the beginner method, we would normally solve the cross first, which would in the checkerboard pattern consist of the yellow center and 4 white edge pieces or a daisy. But we have got lucky and we already have that with us. So we don't have to worry about the cross anymore. Now we can move straight to the corners. Like I said, all the corners remain same, and so all these corners will have to have the yellow side facing up, and so we can use a regular OLL algorithm to do that. And so there you go, all the yellow corners are now facing up, and then we can move on to PLL, where we would first look for headlights. We have those here, 2 orange headlights, and like I said, corners do not change, so these orange headlights will go to the orange face. And now after doing that, we have a fully solved checkerboard pattern 3 by 3, where now both these 3 by 3s have the exact same colors on every single face. So the first pattern of the 3 by 3 has been a success. The second pattern is the Superflip. So here on my Rubik's 3 by 3, I have applied the Superflip pattern, and this will be our benchmark for solving the GAN 3 by 3 into this pattern. So first we have to scramble our GAN 3 by 3. I think that is sufficiently scrambled, and now we can proceed to solving it into the Superflip. So again, the first step is the cross, but now instead of a traditional cross where all the white edges face upwards, we are going to flip every single edge piece. So all the edge pieces will lie in the same position except they'll be flipped. So now we have the white and orange edge piece flipped, the white and blue edge piece flipped, the white and red edge piece flipped, and the white and green edge piece flipped. So very similar to the checkerboard pattern, for the Superflip, all the corners remain unchanged. And so saying that, we are going to solve all the corners as they would be on a regular 3 by 3. So that's done. And now coming on to the middle layer edge pieces, again Every single edge piece will lie in the same position except they'll be flipped. So now we are done with the edge pieces of the middle layer. Moving on to the last layer, which is the yellow side. Again, we would do the cross first, but in this case, since all the edges are flipped, we would want the yellow cross to be without a single yellow edge piece. So here we have two yellow edge pieces here, and so these two pieces are in the correct position. So we will do the algorithm suiting to that, and here we have 0 yellow edge pieces facing upwards, which is good. Now, as I said, for the corners, they remain unchanged, so all the corners should face upwards. So we can do an algorithm for that. And here we have 0 edge pieces, 0 yellow edge pieces facing upwards, but all 4 yellow corner pieces facing upwards. So now we are done with the OLL stage. Now moving on to PLL, we can see that we got lucky and we have skipped I think the first half of PLL, and therefore all 4 faces already have headlights in the correct position. And so we can skip that and go straight to making sure all the edge pieces are with their respective colors. And so we have the orange and yellow edge piece in the correct position, but these 3 edge pieces need to take a U-perm, and so we can do that. And now if we see, the entire 3x3 has been solved into the Superflip pattern, where all the corners similar to the checkerboard pattern remains unchanged, but every edge piece on the 3x3 is in the same position but just flipped around. And that is the Superflip. Now the third pattern is that of the cube in a cube in a cube, where the pattern in the 3x3 gives us the illusion of this line being one cube, this line being a cube, and this line being a cube. So this appears to be a cube inside a cube, which is inside another cube on both sides of 3x3. And so this is again my benchmark of my Rubik's 3x3, from which I'll be taking reference to solve the GAN 3x3. And without further ado, let us start. So firstly, for the cross, we have the white and green edge piece in the correct position. So we'll do that first. We also have the red and white edge piece in the correct position, and so that too. So these two done. Now for the blue side, we have the red and yellow edge piece. So we can find that right here. And the red part of the piece is the one that goes with the white face. So that's the one. And for the orange side, we have the red and blue edge piece with the red on top. And so, wait, that's already done. And so we have the cross done. For the corners, for the white, red and green faces, we have the white, red and green corners itself. But however, the green corner is what will face the top. And so we have that here. Insert it, and there you go. We have our first layer completed, matching this identically. Now moving on to the middle layer, first we have the position between the blue and orange faces, and we have the blue and orange edge piece itself inserted in the correct position. So we can do that. And there you go, all the edges in the middle layer is also done. So now moving on to the final layer, the cross of the final layer would be two yellow edge pieces and 2 orange edge pieces. So we can see we have a kind of match. So we have this yellow perfectly matched, this orange perfectly matched, so that could be an L shape. So we can do that. And have we got it? Yes, we have. So yellow, 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 orange, 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 orange. So that's good. The cross is done. Now moving on to the corners, we should have orange, 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 blue. And so 2 of them are done, and 2 of them need to be twisted. So we can do the algorithm for that. And so after a bit of messing around, there we have it. The OLL stage of the final layer is solved, and now we can move on to the PLL stage, where we should have a white bar and a green bar, which let us first try to accomplish. So we need green and white headlights. So let's try to do that. Okay, so after a bit of messing around, I have managed to solve this cube into a cube in a cube in a cube pattern, which is amazing because I don't think you realize how hard it is to actually do that, to solve it into this pattern unless you try it yourself. So this was a bit of a challenge, and it's really satisfying to now see it correctly in the flesh. And that is our third success. So now we are moving on to our final pattern. So our final pattern is the scramble of the luckiest 3x3 solve. And so I've applied the scramble on my Rubik's 3x3 as a reference. So we will now scramble my GAN 3x3, and we are going to attempt to solve this scrambled 3x3 into this scrambled 3x3. So first we have to make the cross where the green and white and the orange and white edge pieces are in the correct position. So we can do that first. And there we have our cross completed. Now moving on to the corners, between the red, green and white centers, we have the red, blue and yellow corner piece with the red facing the white face. And so we can find the red, blue and yellow corner piece. There you go, we have our first layer completely done. And now we can move on to the edge pieces of the middle layer. So between the green and orange sides, we have the blue and yellow edge piece with blue facing orange. So blue and yellow edge piece, blue facing orange. There we have it. And there you go. Now we have all the edges of the middle layer as well completed, just like the Lucky's 3x3 scramble. And now moving on to the final layer, the yellow cross would be 2 green edge pieces, 1 blue edge piece and a yellow edge piece. So we have the 2 green edge pieces, so we're going to take that as an L shape and make it, see what we get. So after a bit of messing around, I have acquired the cross of the yellow side, and it is exactly as it should be. Now moving on to the corners, we should have 2 greens, 1 orange and 1 red. We have 1 green, 1 red, and these two need to be twisted. So we need to have 1 orange and 1 more green. Now after applying the algorithm, we have the 4 corner pieces also solved. Now the final layer does not look exactly like it, but that's where PLL comes into play. And now what we should be doing is we should achieve yellow headlights, which we have. And now after applying the correct algorithm, we have the 4 edge pieces in the correct orientation and the 4 corner pieces in the correct orientation. Now we don't have them in the correct position, but that's where PLL comes in. So if we see, we should have white headlights, which we do. And opposite to that, we should have yellow and orange, which we also do. And here we should have blue and green, which we do. Here red and yellow, which we do. And so all that is good and correct. Now we need to place the white headlights on the blue face, just like that. And so now I think we should be having the correct scramble. Yes, we have a correct scramble. So we can see all 6 sides of the cube are identical to each other. All 6 sides identical to each other. That is the fourth and final pattern. Successfully done. I'm very happy. So this was an interesting and fun idea to solve a 3x3 into various different patterns. It was also a bit of a challenge, especially with the third and fourth patterns, and so I really enjoyed doing this. I highly recommend you guys to try this yourself because it is very entertaining, it is a bit challenging, and it is honestly really fun. So if you guys did enjoy this video, please do consider hitting the like button and subscribing. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!